Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing another unboxing video, and I'm actually going to be changing things up a bit and looking at something completely different compared to what I normally do, because for the very first time on the channel I'm going to be looking at some Bluey merchandise. Now, I'll be honest and say I quite like Bluey. I think it's a great show that both kids and adults alike can enjoy. And I myself, I've seen a number of episodes from all three seasons, but I don't believe I've seen every episode. And, Mrs. Plowbender, she's kind of the one that really got me into Bluey just because it's a show that she enjoys as well. And I have to say that I think the creators of Bluey definitely knew what they were doing when they created a show that even adults can like. And you'd be surprised the number of adult Bluey fans that are out there. But getting on to today's unboxing, we're going to be taking a look at the Healer Family Road Trip four-wheel drive vehicle. And this was a gift that Mrs. Plowbender got me because she knew I wanted this, because those of you that know me know I like my cars and trucks. But we're going to go ahead and get this out of the box, see how good or bad it is. And, hopefully there will be a lot of good surprises in this unboxing. And Socks is also going to come along for the ride just because she's so loyal. Real quick, I'll look at the box like I normally do, and I quite like the way this vehicle is presented because you can see we've got this paper cutout of Bandit here in the driver's seat. I just like how he's staring at you and waving. The box says Healer Family Road Trip four-wheel drive vehicle. Up in this corner, it says take the whole family on a road trip, figures sold separately. However, we do have one figure included, that being Mum, aka Chili. And, I like the way the vehicle is presented in this box as well. It's basically all open, which granted this style of packaging does have a disadvantage because I've seen similar packages like this where, like the Chili figure here would be completely missing. And that's the problem with this box not being completely sealed, is it's so easy to get stuff out of it, really. But going around to the side of the box, you can see there's a picture of Chili. Going to the back of the box, we've got some information here on the vehicle, such as that it has an open roof. You can put your figurines in, take them out. It says Chili is ready for a family trip. There's some other stuff here. I don't think I need to read all of this. Down in this corner, we've got, looks like copyright information and licensing, what have you. Over on this side, it's just manufacturing information. I like the fact that I'm seeing made in India and not made in China. There's way too much stuff made in China anymore. But I'm also seeing that this is made by Moose Enterprise, and I've heard a lot of good things about that manufacturer. Nothing to really see on the bottom of the box, just a contents list and some other information. And on this side, we've got Bandit. But I think with all that said, we'll go ahead and open this up, get the vehicle out, and take a look at it. And here is everything out of the box. I have to say that I'm quite liking the look of this four-wheel drive vehicle, mainly just because of the color combination used. But here's the Chili figure as well. She looks nice. And I'm only just now noticing this, but compared to the figures, it kind of looks like the vehicle is a little oversized. I don't know, maybe that's just me. I guess I'll look at the four-wheel drive vehicle first, and I'll be calling this the Healer's car from now on, because that's basically what it is. If I remember right, I think the Healer family actually named this car Bobo. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. But from what I've read, this is based off of a 2019 Mitsubishi SUV. Oh, don't even get me started on that. But, I mean, this little vehicle here, it's not too bad. Now, the construction is basically all plastic, except I think maybe, the axles on this are metal. But everything else is basically plastic construction. Granted, it does feel quality, because, I'd say, like right here on the roof, this area would be a weak spot. And I'm squeezing this, and, it's basically not breaking or, showing any signs of stress. Now, I don't know what this would be like if you stomped on it. But, in terms of quality on something, it's good if you can put it under a little bit of stress and it doesn't just break apart instantly. But this car does have some nice little details on it. You can see we've got the headlights. We've also got license plates on both front and rear. Sorry about that, Chili. License plate says 419 HLR, and I think the HLR stands for Healer. I'm not sure what 419 means. Maybe if somebody knows, they can leave it in the comments. But we've also got a little bit of detail around the wheels. We don't have rubber tires. I quite like rubber tires myself. I do notice there's a bit of stray paint from the looks of things on these wheels. You know, a little bit of an issue with quality control, I guess. But then again, if you're giving this to a child, I doubt they'd really care about something like that. We've also got side view mirrors, door handles. You know, overall, it doesn't look too bad. And I think really, you know, a little bit of detail on this goes a long way. We've also got some detail in the interior. You can see there's a steering wheel, a rear view mirror. You got the seats, and you've also got the additional car seats in the back for Bluey and Bingo. Other than that, I'm not really seeing anything else. There's some holes in the back of this. Two of these were for securing this in the packaging, but I'm kind of curious what this one in the middle is supposed to do. I've seen other versions of this vehicle that do have roof racks, but you know, this one obviously doesn't. And, you know, overall, I don't think this car looks too bad, but it does seem to be lacking in a few areas when compared to the car in the show. And for those of you that might have been raging at your computer screens, I did help Chili back up on her feet. And I have to say that I really like the look of her figure here. She looks just like she did in the show. And, you know, it's a really good quality piece. There is articulation in this figure, although she seems a little stiff. That might loosen up in play. And, you know, again, just looks really nice for what it is. And there is little pieces on here that will allow Chili to key into other playsets and accessories. But, you know, not really a whole lot else to say with her. And I know some of you want to see what Chili looks like in the car, so I'll go ahead and do that now. And I'm actually going to put her in the passenger seat for reasons I'll explain in a minute. But you can see that there's little pips on the seats, and that just keys into the bottom of Chili. And go ahead and try to... Okay, that is not wanting... Okay. Well, she's seated. Bit of a effort to make that work, but you can see Chili is in the car. I dug my tub of other Bluey pieces out from under the workbench because I want to get a couple things. And the first one would be Bingo. So I'll set her right there. Also want to get... not that one, Bluey. And then, unfortunately, the only bandit I have is the sleepy one. So, I don't know, hopefully at some point I can get a regular bandit as well. And here's the healer's car with the family all inside it now. And I don't know if I was just doing something wrong, but it was a bit of an effort to try to get the characters to key into those pegs in the seats. Granted, that might get easier once this has had a bit of play. But, you know, I think this looks pretty good once you get the family in there. And granted, I'm not sure Bandit should really be driving in his condition. But, you know, still. I think I got Bluey and Bingo in their correct seats as well. I know someone will correct me if I got it wrong. But, yeah, I think this looks really good with the healer family. And, you know, obviously, now that you've got the whole family, you can go ahead and take them on a road trip. I think one of the last things I'll say about this car is that I can definitely see a lot of play value here with this. And once you start adding in other figures and accessory pieces and incorporating this into other sets you might have, you know, the stories that you can reenact or even create your own are just completely endless. So I'll give my final thoughts on this healer's car, and I have to say that while I do like this, I also feel it is lacking, at least in terms of detail, especially when you compare it to the healer's car on the show, which I understand something like this, they can't include everything, but I myself would have liked to have seen just a little bit more effort put into this, even if it was just something simple like painting the details which are already on this, such as the headlights, the mirrors, the door handles, etc. And even like the rear view mirror here, even just a simple silver sticker would have lifted the look of that. And the same could be said for the side view mirrors as well. But I feel like some of that is just the over-reliance of pre-colored plastic, and you got a lot of manufacturers out there that just look at something like this and say, well, it's a kid's toy, who's really going to care? But for me, I honestly would have liked to have seen a little more effort put into this, but that's just from my adult perspective. From memory, I think Mrs. Plowbender paid $14.94 for this from Walmart, which you might as well call that $15 once you include tax. And really, I don't feel that's a bad price for the vehicle plus the chilly figure. And really, I'd be curious what the other vehicles in this line are like, because I know, aside from this four-wheel drive one, they've also got a fire truck, a dump truck. I think there's an airplane as well. The one I'd really be curious about is, I think it's a green garbage truck. I would love to look at that and do a comparison of it next to this four-wheel drive vehicle if I can get my hands on it. But I think to wrap up this unboxing, as to whether or not I'd recommend this four-wheel drive vehicle, I can honestly say yes, especially if you're someone who is a big Bluey fan and you've got these figures and you want to have this car to go along with them. Well worth picking this up, especially at the price, and if you can find it cheaper than that, even better. But really, again, flaws and all, despite the issues, I do like this car, and I think it's a great addition to my rather small Bluey collection that I have. And again, I could definitely recommend it. But that's going to be it for this video. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this car in the comments down below. Also, feel free to let me know who is your favorite Bluey character. For me, it would have to be Bingo, because I just love her giggly personality, and I think she's just adorable. But that's going to be it for now. Again, feel free to comment down below. Check out my other pages, links in the description. And I'll hopefully catch you guys again sometime in another unboxing.